Today, I will take you to the misty and cold metropolis of Yekaterinburg, nesting in the Rocky Mountains of the Urals. It's December 26th, 2022. A young woman named Katerina hears an ominous noise coming from her neighbor's apartment.
Stop it! Stop it!
She then would describe noises as satanic screams and the sounds of an exorcism. At first, Katerina considers calling the police but decides against it, as she knows a nice family lives there. Parents in their late 30s and 3 children, 2 teenage boys and an infant girl. Katerina often sees their mother, Anastasia, walking in a nearby garden with a stroller, and their father, Slava, bringing his boys back from sports in the evening. Katerina decides that this is just a typical domestic dispute, routine for the Russian province. And as the shouting soon comes down, it makes her to forget about the incident. Not for long, however. At the same moment, an elderly woman receives a message from her daughter. As she reads the text, her hands started trembling and her heart raced. Something sinister had just happened. The message read,
My kids are possessed. The devil within them. I have to save their souls. Through suffering, they will be saved in eternity.
The police is rushing to the place. They break down the door only to discover a tragically eerie scene. In the living room, Anastasia is lying on top of the lifeless bodies of her 3 children. She is conscious, but confused. The police takes her away in handcuffs. As Anastasia is escorted by police officers down the stairs, she catches the eye of her neighbor Katerina, who just realized what those screams were about. Investigation team arrives at the scene and quickly finds several notes left by Anastasia, one of which is addressed to her husband. The note reads,
When you prayed that night, Satan came down from heaven. You are Satan in the flesh. I dreamed of killing my children because I am dying of the noonday demon which has hit me and Herman. Herman too is possessed by him. Gleb is infected with fornication and pride, and Anna was beaten by Eve's tempting serpent, as I saw. If they had stayed with you, Satan in the flesh, their fate would be terrible. Satan is waiting for Gleb as for the Antichrist. He wants my son. Anna, you have become a great temptress whore, and Herman is Satan himself, already tempted like Christ. I'm writing this and I'm weak. I saved them from a terrible future. Gleb left deliberately because he wants to go to heaven, not hell. Anya and Herman in a dream, quickly and without suffering. I'm dying of dehydration. The city is full of demons. This is the beginning of the apocalypse, the end of times. When you said you were safe with God, Satan took you. Tell your parents that the end of times will be very dark. I loved my children very much and had to do it to save them in eternity. They are in heaven. I can hear them. Your salvation is only in Christ. With love for my ex-husband.
She also wrote several notes to her relatives, which are equally vague, inconsistent, and unsettling. The family had a good reputation in the neighborhood. They were a married couple who didn't drink or smoke, and the husband was a retired police colonel. Nobody had ever noticed anything suspicious, so at first the crime was considered to have been committed in a state of affect or temporary insanity. However, ominous details would soon emerge. Anastasia's husband Slava used to work at the local DEA, where, according to his former colleagues, he assisted in cases related to totalitarian and destructive cults. He was forced into retirement due to a cranial cerebral injury he sustained while on duty. A father of Anastasia witnessed that the behavior of couple was getting more and more disturbing recently.
They were beating demons out of each other. When Slava came to Fali, I noticed a bruise. He was helping me with furniture and suddenly refused to touch the wardrobe, saying, "These are coffins, these are coffins. I will not carry them." It was just such a tantrum. I asked Anastasia to take him to the doctor immediately, but she just said, "I'm with Slava, I'm with Slava." It was like she was brainwashed.
And the first trial, another note from Anastasia is revealed, one that was allegedly left for the police.
I, Anastasia Petrova, have killed my children because I'm seriously ill and have no one to take care of them at such a difficult time.
Anastasia is hiding her face behind a medical mask and a large hood. Judge asks her to explain the notes. She says that she probably acted under the influence of drugs that were administered to her unwillingly, but fails to specify who, how, or when could have added drugs to her food and beverages. However, she's convinced that this was happening over a substantial period of time. Her father speculates that Slava had intentions of getting rid of her. This is why she referred to him as an ex-husband, and claimed that she couldn't leave the children with him in one note, and said that there was no one to take care of them in another. He suspects that as a former DEA agent, Slava had access to illicit substances he could use to systematically poison Anastasia. On the other hand, Slava was aware of how destructive cults operate, as he was involved in several criminal cases involving such organizations. Allegedly, he could have used this information to virtually drive his wife mad, and when the stage was set for the unthinkable, he could have carefully left for his parents' home on the day of the tragedy, to establish an unbeatable alibi. However, these are just speculative allegations for now. Anastasia is currently charged with first-degree premeditated murder and faces 20 years to life in prison. Meanwhile, Slava's life is forever stained by the devil embodied in his beloved wife. There is only one thing that bothers me. What if Anastasia's father is right? This would make this tragic story truly ominous. Subscribe to stay updated about this case. And if you like this video, check out my channel. And enjoy your stay. I'm the Philosopher, have a good one.